Hello everybody and welcome back. We've got another City Skylines tutorial this morning here on the Ronly Conly Twitch stream. That is R only, C only. Got it? Good. Alright, I'm glad you're here with me. Oh, we have a power problem, which if you have watched these streams, then you will know at the end of last time we actually solved this power problem. But I have gotten in this terrible habit of not manually saving. Thank goodness for the autosave, but that's a rookie move on my part. So I do encourage you to always manually save your files. Now luckily we didn't do too much at the end of last time. We just placed one of these solar updraft towers, and now we're waiting for our budget to magically hit that 90,000 mark, and it's almost there. There we go. Now we can just build it right where we had it last time, which was in this corner behind door number 2. Look at that. Now that actually eliminates the need for most of these power plants, but we'll keep them. We'll just lower the budget line down. We could probably stand to go 75, and that's probably still generous. Let's see. Takes it a second. Boom, look at that, right on the money. Because we don't want to pay for power that we're generating extra. You can't sell that excess. Unlike in SimCity 2013, you could sell power to your neighboring cities in your region or online. Can't do it here. So we're just not gonna. Alright, now what we wanted to do today is build a trade school, which works, the way it functions is similar to the industry or the park areas, which we've done before. We have not touched the industries yet. We may soon as we expand into this empty square over there. But for today, we'll focus on the trade school, and we also were thinking about building a bus station right here and expanding that downtown by a block. You can see last time we built up downtown. It looked pretty nice. Got a couple tall skyscrapers, some nice residential. We also converted Art Park to a park area, officially naming it, and we copied the park asset that was there before, which we moved over here. Of course, I added some walkways there. And if you want to check out all that, if you missed parts 1 through 4, they are on my Twitch channel and also on YouTube at Ronly Conly. That's R only, C only. Got it? I know you do. So now let's get going. Again, I'm Justin, and I'm glad you're here with me. Been playing these sorts of games for about 15 years now, but City Skylines for going on 2 years. And there's a lot to learn even still, so I don't pretend to be an expert in all things City Skylines, but in some things I do know a thing or two, especially when it comes to traffic management and just overall design. I feel pretty confident. I mean, look at this. This is a beautiful city, if I say so myself, and I did it with your help. Last time we also added this. We added this entire neighborhood that you see here, from the roundabout to that gray park on the left, that plaza. We also added this education block with a community pool, which is really nice. But I can't believe I did not save that file manually. I always recommend that you do manually save, because you never know what the autosave missed. I think I have mine set to autosave every 10 minutes, so it doesn't miss too much, but you never know what genius strikes you that you might forget about next time. Not that I'm a genius, but, you know, inspiration. You don't have to be a genius to be inspired. On the bright side, I do have these streams saved, so I can always go back that way and check my work and see what I did before. Now, the people are still crying out for higher education. That's what those little blue bubbles mean. It means your commercial zones don't have enough educated workers. And I think your office zones will also do that. So let's check it out. We don't have the money to build a stock university, but you can see we have 3,000 people eligible now. That's pretty good. So I think we'll put the trade school maybe here, but that's a fertile area for farms. On the other hand, we could place it right against the highway where we've got this nice avenue and fill in that little corner of our town. Let's look at our transit routes to see what we have. Well, we've got at least one subway stop that's not far. And we can always build an actual another campus area. There are 3 campus areas: the trade school, which we have unlocked now, the liberal arts college, and the university campus areas. They're just larger, and you get, I think they might have higher land values, perhaps. I don't know that for certain. I could just be making that up completely. But we can't unlock those yet until we get more people in the city, so we have to go with what we have available. So I am going to make the executive decision as mayor. We're going to make this all, and you have to be careful not to, for some reason you can't overlap the park areas with the campus areas. So you have to be really careful not to mess that up, but I do want my campus to completely flat out here. Now, there's probably not a real chance that we will actually take up this area now, but as your school grows, there's more buildings, and the more buildings you have, the more space it takes up. Sounds reasonable, right? Now that fits just right there, but I don't think I want to put that there. I'm not going to keep the police station right there, so why don't we move it and the fire station over just a little bit. It's not really going to affect anything. In fact, it probably gives them a better reach into the actual city neighborhoods and not just this area that we have not purchased yet. So there we go. It's a lovely, lovely building with this atrium, and it has paths already connected around it. So to expand, we just draw right on it. Not every building has that, so keep that in mind as you go forth. And in this case, the dormitory is just a little too wide. I wish that were not the case. There we go. We've got one dorm there. And now we don't have any money. So we've got to wait on our cash to come back. Each of these buildings carries an attractiveness level. And when we look at our school here, first let's rename this. I think we should name it New Chirp College. That sounds fine. We don't have to manage the brand, thankfully, beyond these policies. We'll give them free healthcare and free lunch. I think it's as you unlock more, you can have different policies like free tuition, but that may only be for the liberal arts or universities. These are still pretty new, especially to me, so it's hard to. I don't know everything, so there you have it. Use the internet. It is your friend. You're on the internet already. But I'll tell you what I do know, and that is your reputation level. You want to get to all 5, which is prestigious. Right now we're unrecognized. As we get these level benchmarks there, 500 students, 200 campus attractiveness, and some academic works, we will go up to recognized, and then there's higher levels there. As we upgrade the stars, it's like the park area. As you upgrade, you unlock more buildings, which raises land value and all this around there. So a lot of benefits to grow it. So we'll start with a research grant, but we don't have $50,000 to give that, so there you have it. We've got to wait on that also. But the campus attractiveness, each building has a different amount. Unfortunately, the console version does not tell you. I don't know if the PC version tells you or not directly how much attractiveness each asset adds, but it's similar to the entertainment value in the park areas, which we went through last time and the time before. But the book clubs add, I want to say, I looked this up online. Thank you, fandom. But the book club adds about 70 attractiveness points. Groundskeeping, I think, is only like 20. Study hall is maybe 50, maybe 25. Dormitories are definitely 25. And it gets a little tricky as you go up higher. These major schools actually add a lot more, but they are expensive. And they are large, so keep that in mind as you're planning your campus size. And I think if we do it this way, we might be able to just squeeze by a path. And notice that this one, as I mentioned, did not wrap around automatically like the main building did, but it still looks nice. Got to run some water line. Look at that. Now, slowly but surely, our education level will go up. Let's see, just to show you, they want 2 highly educated workers, which means they've graduated college, and they don't have any because we haven't had a college yet. Now we do. What I do want to add here is a pathway. We'll do freeform. And we can always edit this later, so I'm not super concerned about getting it just right. Our layout, I mean. So now they've got an easy access to our tram line there, the subway station, and that park. And it connects nicely. We can see where we will put other buildings along the way. The university buildings can connect to any of these paths as well as the street, just like the parks. I gotta extend this avenue just a little bit. And I'm losing the one that I'm looking for is right here. Speaking of the save files, if you have checked out my other City Skylines videos, you'll notice that last week I started a scenario in the remastered version, and I spent a good chunk of time there and did not save that manually and then worked over it. It's a rookie mistake. So learn from my rookie mistakes and manually save. I'm telling you, you'll be glad you did it at some point. I get really spoiled by the autosave. It literally saved the day for New Chirp City today. Otherwise, I would have had to go back and recreate what we did last week, which would have been not good. Not fun for me. I would have saved you that. I wouldn't have streamed that again. Wouldn't have put you through that. And I'm sorry that you have to hear about my struggles, but I think there's value in it for you. Once again, I want to thank you for being here. This is the Roly Conly Twitch stream. That's R only C only, and I hope if you haven't done so already that you will hit that follow button so you'll be notified when I go live. I do tend to be a little spontaneous with when I'm going live, and that's a result of the work that I do as a theater artist and producer. I make myself available based on other people's schedules, which is nice a lot of the time, but it gets in the way of doing things like this, which is okay. I have a production meeting for one of the plays I'm working on this summer, so that's later this afternoon, though. You won't miss out on anything from me. Now I'm going to just connect another little square, and on top of our university area, I'm going to create a new district. And the reason I'm doing that is so that all the houses that are built here will be in the university style, and all of these on that street will unfortunately be demolished, but they will come back. And at some point, as we expand the university, the trade school, I mean, we probably will have to demolish more, but that's okay. Alright, I gotta take these things off. I only use the grid when I know I want to get a tight square, a tight 90-degree, or match something like here. It just makes it a little easier, but I don't rely on that all the time, and I do hope that you will challenge yourself to not be dependent on the grid. Just makes it more fun to look at. I'm sure you agree. You might think it's cluttery, though. Let me know your thoughts either way if you have a strong position either way. Uh-oh, Art Park had a fire. Look at that. And you can turn off, you can disable fire spreading. That will prevent that from happening, but I like to watch the world burn. What can I say? Especially the world that I make. I don't really want to connect another road to the roundabout, but I may do it there just for convenience. I've managed to keep this whole neighborhood separate, which has value and detriments, but this is a big empty space, so I may connect it down here. Let's do freeform again. I'm in a freeform mood today, it seems. But the trouble with that is, freeform likes to make too harsh of curves. And I like having more control. That's pretty groovy, even for me. And if you don't know, I'll remind you that I like to put these high density on these short parts of the squares, so you get a little bit extra population boost while getting some variation in your buildings. That's just my preference. Doesn't have to be yours. And delete that stoplight. That stoplight also. And see, aren't these nice little cottages? Brick houses. We love them. I love them. Better than these. And they also have more trees. The downside of these university buildings is that when they upgrade, they become more like these other houses. So I don't know why they thought that we should. I'm not going to go through and make all of these houses historic, you know. It just doesn't make sense. But they didn't ask me. Maybe they will someday, but not yet. Alright, and we've got enough money we can afford to build more buildings here. These are, of course, cheaper buildings, so that's nice. We'll put them dead in the center for now. Probably will change it at some point in the future as we get larger buildings and more options. But, you know, universities in real life tend to change a lot more than most types of buildings. Now that won't quite fit there. We might be able to fit it right on the line there. No, it's just shy of being inside the city limits. We could probably fit it in here. Yeah, it'll fit there. No, we'll have to move that walking path over. Unless we put it here, which probably would be not a bad place. It would disrupt our walking path as it stands, but you know, sometimes you got to make those. On the other hand, we could extend across the street, but I don't really want to do that. What do you think? I wish it wouldn't lock on the pathways. I wish I could rotate it like this instead of it going crazy like this. Eventually we will unlock an outdoor study, which I plan to put right there in the middle. Can we unlock that area? Oh, we do have one available, so I'm going to make the purchase. We're going to splurge today so we can fit this police academy right where we want it. There we go. Now a little bit of terrain shift there, but that's not a big deal. One cool thing about corners is that you can, even with the roads, just go right up to them without hurting any of the zone spaces. And I'm not locked into any of those pathways, of course. It's more just to be a placeholder. So we've built our trade school, New Chirp College. Let's call it a community college. Just to differentiate from later if we add the liberal arts school or the university. And we still don't have enough for an academic work, but we're in no rush. We've only got 300 students. So what I will do, raise the taxes on the high density just so we can get a little bit extra. Raise it on industry even more because they take a lot of the infrastructure. Plus the ground pollution, and at some point we'll have to change that out, and really the landfills, getting rid of those will make a large difference. But also what we can do, which I've forgotten, is one of the policies you can choose in the city planning portion, is to filter industrial waste. And they pollute the ground a lot less. It costs you some money, but we just raised the taxes on the industry. Now we can justify that tax raise by making the environment better. And the only reason I put that high density residential there is because they were complaining. If you complain, you get the axe. That's how it works in New Chirp City. It's harsh. Have to be cold sometimes. And so for now, we'll put in some housing there, just so we have some, and it'll fill out that space a little more, and it'll look nice. I like to put these kinds of houses along those same kind of streets so it blends in with the university housing. Because when a lot of college campuses will buy houses near their property and convert them into university buildings, so it wouldn't be unheard of for, like the book club, the IT club, even the groundskeeping to be in an old house. I want to add a bus stop closer to the campus, so we're just going to drag and place it. We'll put it right here in between those two access points to the university. As we build it out, we may shift it down the street just a little bit. We don't have any bus routes going through our new neighborhood there. That brings me to our next point of the day, building a bus station. Now, I have the thought to put the regular bus station here. We connect all the bus routes to there, but we could also do an inner city bus station, get some more tourists and out-of-towners. And you don't have to do anything specifically for the inner city buses. They just go there, but we can run our own routes there in the same way. So let's pull the trigger. We've been hinting about it for so long now, and now this block is officially part of the downtown area. Yay! Eventually, I imagine we will convert these residential buildings into offices, but not yet. Since there is such high demand, though, going to take all these 2x squares and make them high density, which Twitchville neighbors might not like, but that's tough. We've got to do it. Oh, we have a death problem. Let's see. Our population is 20% seniors, so we've gone through a full life cycle now. The death rate is probably climbing. Let's look at the stats to be sure. Yeah, just a little bit. The birth rate is going down, but that should go up now that we've added the university area, trade school that is, and the influx is going up, so that balances out. But you do want to be prepared for death waves. It turns out our cemetery is full. That explains why we have this problem. So we'll build it right there, just filling out this side. We've got the space. And I think we should build another one. So we'll go on this side. Keep that cemetery kind of centralized. It also raises the land value just a little bit, which is nice. It's nice to have that extra. They'll send out the trucks. There goes the hearses. we'll slowly see those skull and crossbones leave. That's your mark of the death. It'll tell you a dead person is in here. And you want to be pretty proactive on that, because your buildings will be abandoned, because I guess death is stinky. You heard it here first. And I'm just going to extend this out so we can, I almost said plant, which isn't far off since they are technically growable zones, but we're going to zone residential here, much like we did across the campus. So we're meeting this demand. Our demand value is really high for residential, so we'll give them housing. Not much choice. I really like these one-lane avenues. I just think they look neat, tidy. Don't have as much going on. I wish you had they've added bus lanes to these large avenues, but I wish they had a large avenue with bike lanes instead of the parallel spots. See how nice that looks? Can't you imagine a nice bright green stripe on the side? Maybe some physical barriers between, separating the road from the bikers, which increases safety. But you don't really have to worry about that in this game. It's not as if there's a specific measurement for pedestrian safety. Although that might be cool. I'm not one for super micromanagement, realistic to that extent, but at least encouraging that. If that, I would think that that's the sort of thing that could raise the land value, as well as different trees could carry a higher land value. Of, you know, if I'm planting all these pink trees. But that's probably a little too involved. I'll give them that. Right, so I forgot that we placed the bus line. So let us put the bus route through the bus station. This will be a good candidate since it's got that gap. And you just go right to the arrows. And they'll stop. The Sims will wait at each location for the bus. The tricky part is thinking about these tram lines. And the fact that they won't turn left out of the station does cause some problems, so that orange one will probably have to come back for later. Put another stop here. I almost wish I had turned it the other way so that they went on this road. It would cause some traffic problem, but at least they could turn both ways or loop around the block more easily. But maybe, I don't know if that would really help. But they would go to the intersection and then have 3 directions they could choose from. Would probably be better. Of course, we could move this over here. Still pretty close to where that other one is. But see there, they just go around the block, so here we go. We're going to pretend we could do this in real life. Although it does fit just right in between those. So unfortunately we lost that high density zone. But we can fix that pretty easily. Now we're doing too many loops. So I'm just going to delete that. Because we can come here just move that one stop over. I know that's still pretty close, so we'll leave it though. The convenience factor is there. Oh, and look, now they magically turn right. Or turn left, excuse me. That's nice. So putting it sideways was very much worth it. So there's 2 bus routes, and that's a tram line. So that's going to go around the block and not in the way that really makes sense. Because why would it go all the way down there and back around instead of just turning left here? So I guess I'm going to put a stop closer. Right there, just because the route demands it. For some reason, move that stop just a little bit further down. Unfortunately for the residents of Twitchville over here, they will have more bus traffic. On the other hand, they get some more bus stops. There we go. That makes a little more sense to have that extend that way. Let's check on our community college here. We're getting close. Just gonna fund a grant for academic works. As you know, this is part of the way to upgrade it, slowly but surely. 358 students is not a lot when you consider there are almost 3,000 available. So we've got about 10% using it, but some of that is a result of the distance. You know, it's not a centralized campus, and we don't have a lot of transit options going directly to campus, even though we had the tram line and the subway station nearby. We do need to make another bus route for this section of town, so we'll start it right at the campus area. I like to do a little zigzag through the neighborhoods so everybody gets to stop. With those walkway paths, the bus riders can get there easily. They can cross between. We don't need roads to connect everywhere. You just want to be careful and conscious of how many funnels you have where you're forcing traffic to all go down the same path. Because otherwise, I mean, that's how you get traffic buildup versus more spread out ways to drain. It's like water. If you've watched any of my other streams, you'll know that you want to think about the path of least resistance for your traffic, just like water draining. I don't know if I want to loop back through there. I guess I should. It won't hurt. As we extend the neighborhood outward in this quarter, we can, go back through. I just like to do that. It doesn't look the most efficient, but to me, it gives your Sims don't have to go around the whole loop just to get to the point they want. Let's say they want to get to Forest Garden up in the right-hand corner of your screen, but they live at the bottom of this park here. Obviously, they'd be better served by just walking over there. But instead of them having to go through the whole route, they can get on the second stop, comes back, and go closer. Now, I know that that's a not great example, but the point is that there are multiple points of entry and exit for their convenience to make the route just a little faster. And that's really what it comes down to is your Sims won't take transit if it's slower than driving. So that's why we want to connect the college so it's a little easier for them to get there and back. I did forget that we built this bus station, so we want to connect it. We don't want to build a new line and not connect to our inner city bus station. And since that's the route that goes to the university, we can justify the inner city bus connection there. And we've earned all these extra bus stops there, so it's longer than I really anticipated, but still effective. And later we might, make a more direct route. But also we have the tram, so there's not really much point in having an express bus route because they can just take the tram, even if they get off the intercity bus station here. So that should help attract more students slowly but surely. Probably want to add another subway station here. It makes sense near the health area. The education block we built last time. There we go. Didn't have to think about it too hard. We had a nice 2-block there, and we can connect pretty easily to this other station. Eventually, we may put a station right there. But the slope is too steep. Go figure. That's the trick sometimes, is getting lucky for the slope to be what you want. But we could put it there. But that seems a little too convenient. If we come down to this part, maybe we'll have better luck. We can even out the land, so it's there. I guess we gotta connect the front side too. when you do these junctions, you want to be careful that you allow room for one full train. So if they have to stop and wait on passing cars, they don't get stuck because nobody can move, because the trains will turn in and wait here. So, you know, that may be a problem. But we can adjust a little bit. Luckily, these cars are much shorter than trains, and that's just barely enough. Hopefully that'll be fine. If it is a problem, then we will address it another time. And I think I want to extend this line over and make this the and instead of letting that loop completely, since it goes out there, that might not actually be a bad idea to let the pink be on that side and let the blue loop around. So we'll do that, and then we'll add a second line instead. Go. Look at that. Much neater. I do have to connect those. That green goes all the way over to that spot, but we should be able to take our new route. Look at that. So it doesn't have to loop from both sides. In fact, that probably is better in the long run because it connects on that right side. Now we want our green here to loop around, and this may be slower in the long run, but we can always add another express line. Why is it doubled up though? That I am not sure. Goes that way. Goes right there. We had to. And we'll change the loop. In general, I like having the loops because, as I mentioned last time, the cars will... It's hard to control which side they go on. They tend to favor the right side if they're going of whatever track they're on. So you have to start the line at the one that you... at the station that you want that to not be too many on one track. I mean, and as I also talked about last time, we have these other newer ones. If you've got the Bridges and Trains DLC, you've got a few extra ones. There are some more recent content packs that they just put out, DLCs I mean, that have some, I think, Japanese and Korean style stations, so more options there if you've got that. Maybe one day I'll get that. But we could fit that there. If that'll, honestly, the Sunken Island is one single platform, so it really won't solve that problem unless we want to put a second station side by side there. There may be value in that, but for now, we don't have the traffic problem in the subway. This is really, your central ones are the ones that are most likely to have the traffic. And we can see that we're okay on the whole. And as we extend out into this free space, we can put another, having a fourth station out this way can will give us more reason to have a direct line all the way at least to the downtown. There we go. We've gotten more transit options, which is rarely a bad thing. So once again, I want to thank you for joining me this lovely Tuesday. I hope it is lovely where you are. It's a nice, cool spring day here where I am located. But whatever you're doing, I hope that you're staying hydrated. It's important. Hope you're taking care of your body, being nice to yourself. Yep. Our school looks pretty beautiful, I must say. We've got 450 out of 500 students. We're waiting on this academic work. You can increase the speed of this by paying for more staff, but it will cost you more. Your base is 5 staff members. We'll double it. We've got enough revenue. 12,000 surplus is pretty good for a $5,000 extra education spending. We have a need for 25 more attractiveness points, which is really frustrating. We can build a dormitory. At some point we will need that. Let's see how many. We've got capacity for 1,900. And I don't know if that's just all the buildings have different capacities. But I would think that that's for commuters also. So if we want more on-campus students, we've got up to 320. So we've still got room there. And since we're waiting for the academic work anyway, we won't prioritize that just yet. Alright, so we've got to get rid of these abandoned buildings. Hopefully will not. I mean, we have less complaints about low education so far, so let's take a look at that. Now we're up to 11.5% highly educated. That's pretty good. We're really cranking students out of New Chirp Community College already. Happy about that. We just built this high school last time, so we're just enough more. The elementary school, we've got plenty of space. We do have empty zones here. We'll make residential. It's hard to see on this grass what space is available in terms of, especially the single for the high density. That's a big gap. But that's a result of the curve in that road. That's one value of the grid. Like I've said before, if you just need a quick and dirty, just residential zone as much as you can, the grid is helpful. That's why this square, I mean, that's what we were doing there. We were just trying to expand by every means necessary. Now we're taking our time a little bit, but not trying to be here forever in New Chirp City. Don't tell my citizens that. They might not like that from their mayor. Next, I think I will take that large avenue on the bottom that connects to the university, curve it a little bit in that corner of that square to the left, and wrap it around and eventually connect. I will want to upgrade this road here, but that involves moving the subway station, and that might be the occasion that we change that to the Sunken Island subway station. But we will cause quite a disruption to our neighborhood here when we do that. But it will also allow us to expand the tram line, and then perhaps, as demand grows, we can extend the tram line all the way around. Also, we have this whole new square over here, so we still have half of the map that we have not, well, more than that we have not touched, except for that small part so we could build our police academy. So we've got options to build. The cemetery is full, and I mentioned in one of these videos for New Chirp City that you kind of have to treat these cemeteries like you do the landfills. And it sounds really dark and kind of crappy to say, but you get the same icon when the cemetery's full, and it literally looks like trash is overflowing. And if you empty the cemetery now, they'll just send the bodies to other cemeteries, which doesn't make much sense. But down the line, we will unlock a crematorium, and then we can send the bodies there, and they'll be burned up. And that's even more bleak to think about. But we try not to think about it. That's the solution. We just, like I said, you have to be cold. There is a building that you unlock, a unique building that you unlock with, I think there's one for 3 cemeteries full, and one for 7. There you go, Grand Central Terminal. If you fill 7 cemeteries, you get it unlocked. And beyond that, there's 5 cemeteries, you get the theater. So that's how we got the theater. I'd already unlocked a lot of these before this game, of course. But if you haven't, there's the value. There is some value in filling up a bunch of cemeteries. And then as you empty them, there are other buildings you can place that take up the same amount of space, including a public library, which seems like it has about the same impact on your nearby citizens' happiness and also education and land value. So things to keep in mind. Bear with me for 1 second. I'm going to take a quick break, but when I return, we will begin building new neighborhoods because we need some more Sims. Just a moment. Okay, we're back. Thank you so much for allowing me that brief moment of not speaking and taking care of some personal matters. I hope you took the moment to get hydrated. As I said, it's very important. Now let's look at this beautiful downtown. Really, we've got a nice city building here. Slowly but surely it's getting its own identity. You see our buses going through the inner city station. Now, I feel that there are lines that we missed. Let's see, that one's going in, that one's going in, that one is not. That one and that one. So we are missing one bus line. It is the one that goes to the industry. Honestly, I don't want to take that out of the industry because it's more of a, we'll say it's a commuter bus, a little industrial bus line. As we grow the industry, it will remain that. So why don't we rename this? Industry line. Get rid of the 4. So then we know when we're looking through that that's where that is. We named the yellow one the express line because it went around what was at the time the limits of New Chirp City, or close enough to it. And now it's not so much. I like this peach colored one. I guess that's what the color is. If you decide, leave a comment, tell me what color you think this is, so I don't look like a fool. This one zigs and zags. So I guess you could say that the yellow is an express line because it just goes one direction in a loop. We don't have a counter loop, really. So maybe we can create that. Let's zoom in on our bus station. We've got 3 empty spots, and then we'll have to build another centralized bus station location, or we can upgrade from that to a public transport hub, the Metro Intercity bus station, which will take up that entire space and has a metro station in it, which can address some of the traffic problems we have if it occurs. We can also have a metro train and metro tram hub, which we can just plop right in the middle of the street. So that's a nice thing to be aware of. I have not used this one yet, but it could be cool. It's a beautiful looking thing. Ooh, a multi-level hub. That's nice. It's huge though. So maybe we can play with that if we need to expand, but maybe we'll save that for another destination area, like a tourist hub or a... I like these multi-platform train stations. They're nice, but they're huge. I mean, who needs that many train routes? I've done it before. It helps keep from getting cluttered, and it has a metro station inside, so there is that direct connection. I really like these metro monorail train hubs. I wish there were more like that were not specifically monorails. I guess what I really want is to customize my hubs. If you're on PC, there's a lot of options. That's where these actually came from, is from content creators that made their own monorail tram hub. So I would really like a metro tram train hub, or metro train bus hub instead of the monorail bus hub. But if you love the monorail, there you go. There's a bus train tram hub, which is new for me. And we can just have a intercity bus hub, which will fit well on this highway side or in the industry. It could. That's a huge thing. So if we get to the point where we've maxed out this station, we have a lot of options, is the point. But for now, I was thinking about big loops around the city. And if we do connect this large avenue, eventually that will be a good choice for location. I don't really want to go through this neighborhood, but also we will have to extend over. So maybe that's what I'll do now. Shoot. Straight. And got a little funky, but it's pretty, huh? Still get the dirt in there. That's nice of them, I guess, to keep the dirt stripe. Why is this person going around just to loop? Oh, it's a police. Because the police station's over there, there's no intersection, no way for them to loop, and they can't make a left turn, especially when there is a median. So, something to think about. Why? Oh, it's an uphill, literally an uphill spot. We could make this another exit, but I don't want to, because that cloverleaf intersection is right there already. It, I think, would just cause more problems. But we can take this moment to give them a way to turn around. That's more convenient. And I want to, let me double check that I'm in the right line. There we go. And again, this is just a quick and dirty way of getting new housing spots, zones that is. Let me see if my, and generally I don't like having huge districts, but it will be fine for now for these purposes, since I honestly, it's easier to make them big at first, and if you want to really specialize on a smaller level, you can just copy the same specialization. For example, the university housing style, you can just click that on your new district. The danger there, and this is my word of caution, is if you do that, you have to, if you make a smaller district where you've already built up, you have to pause. I would pause it and make sure I hit that university housing immediately. Otherwise, you'll lose all the housing that's already built up there and have to start from scratch. And that's a mistake I've made all too many times. It's not as dumb as I don't feel as dumb for it as, say, not manually saving and losing some progress, but it's close. It can happen. It's easier to forget that. Of course, I began playing games when you had a memory card, and that was the only way to save. There was no autosave for a lot of games. And if there was, you had to be really careful about turning it off too soon, or you would lose your game file. So we used to do that, where I remember specifically my brother, we were playing Need for Speed Most Wanted, and he was on the last boss, like gonna beat the game finally. We spent this whole summer, and by we, I mean he, and I was watching as moral support, sort of like you're doing now. Thank you for that support. But he got to the last guy, and he had saved, and or it had the autosave, but you wanted to. So the trick is to save manually before you go through those bosses, so you don't have to restart back at a much later point and spend another hour trying to get back where you were. So he did that. Well, he lost, and in the like seconds that it took for him to jump from his bed to the Xbox and hit the power button, he was late, and it was already auto-saving, and as he hit power, it was saving, and it corrupted the file. We lost all of the data for Most Wanted, and instead of starting that level from scratch, he had to start the entire game. So, you know, it's traumatic, truly. How is our college going? We've gone through an entire academic year. It's good to know. I did not see the procession, but maybe that's because there is an actual commencement hall that we will build, and then you can see them graduate, which is kind of cute. On one of my games, I have a liberal arts campus, and you could just see people processing from like the bookstore, or from the commencement hall to the bookstore or to the cafeteria, and it would just be a flood of students in robes for the entire academic year, and I'm not sure why that is. I'm sure that's not supposed to be the way it is. All right, well, we've got to give another research grant. We'll do IT and engineering, because we've got the students, we've got the money now. We need to build more attractiveness, or upgrade our attractiveness, I should say. I think that's kind of nice. I don't like that raise in the... I do wish that this game would not make everything have to be perfectly flat when you plop it. You know, we could just build that on the slope, at least the part that is literally just the ground. Make it a little smoother. But again, they didn't ask me, and maybe they should. If you think so, leave a comment or tell Colossal Order or Paradox, who make the game. But I'm sure they won't listen to me. They'll listen to you before they listen to me. And who am I? I'm just a guy on Twitch, but I'm glad you're here nonetheless, watching this guy on Twitch, Justin with Ronly Conly. That's R only C only. Alright, now double check. We've got 200 attractiveness. There you go. We figured out that the dorms give you 25 attractiveness points, right on the money there. We proved that doing some basic math. Good for us. We can do that. So we're just going to wait on this academic work to go, and I wish it gave you a timeline for completion of that. I'm debating extending this road out so we could put the fire and police there instead, but I think it really... I don't want to take up too much space of the trade school, knowing that we have some large buildings coming up. Oh, look, doesn't this look nice? Nice little... honestly, it's a lot of brown. These are a little bit more established. We've got more black roofs, which I like that more. But, again, they didn't ask me. Well, let's take this time now to extend this area and do what I said I was going to do, which is I just want to put a slight curve out. And as you know by now, I love making somewhat arbitrary curves. And I kind of want to connect it right there. Can we do that? No, that road is going to be the pain point. So I'm going to just hit the pause button and connect this right there. And go back. Make this a little gentler. I'm gonna take off my snap. It's just making too sharp of a turn. I don't like it. That's a little better. Still not great, but that's okay. And most of this is honestly just temporary until we decide to expand that other stuff, but for now, and by that other stuff I mean this segment of road. Well, for now, since we have not gotten any development on this stretch, it's fine. It'll be just fine. But now we've got a nice little way to go, and generally I don't lay out my neighborhoods before I zone aggressively ahead of time, but that one, rather than go back through and upgrade the road and destroy a bunch of buildings and have to extend the zone out just a square, we've got that already out of the way. We know that's going to be our main artery, and we can fill in as needed organically, you know. These in-between roads can always be upgraded more in the future. But that'll be different. That's more based on need than just upgrading them because we didn't plan ahead. We always want to plan ahead a little bit, but not in a way that limits your creativity. Yeah, pretty funky, I'll say. It's not really my favorite shapes. But this is a little bit larger neighborhoods than I normally go with. I kept that one straight because I want to turn it into a bike road. Like this one became almost a main road, but for pedestrians and bikers. So I'll probably do the same with this middle guy. This one connects quite a ways. And having that bright green stripe will be nice. Just adds a little bit of pop. And for some reason, those streets, the bike lanes, are brighter than the two-lane road with bike lanes. And I'll just show you that right now. Oh, well, no, it seems like they updated that. It used to be a lot darker. There you have it. Okay, so now I want to go back through, and since we added all those roads where there were none before, our zones got really messed up. That's one thing I really don't like about this game, but I don't even know how they would try to fix that, so just based on, like, that would require changing how the zones work on a more fundamental level, I think. But what do I know? Okay, right, we want to fix that. This doesn't need to be that. Make that a shop. And I think that's all. We'll make this a shop too. Why not? Okay, so this is all the zones that we had before that were altered by our new streets. So we're safe in that regard. Now, while they're repairing themselves, we're going to do what I tend to forget to do, which is run water lines. And now that we've got plenty of money in the bank, I'm not so concerned with spending the extra money on the maintenance of these lines. It's more, I mean, look, $1,000 to run one across is not bad. The maintenance will not be that high even, so you want to be aware of it and make sure you do have the money. Fiscal responsibility is important. Your Sims will probably be glad to know that their mayor is thinking about those, but I'm sure they would rather, and I can promise you this, they would rather have water running to their house. Because otherwise they will literally get up and leave town. What happens if I scoot this over just a little bit? They complain, but it's a block over. It just fits a little better. We don't have that gap and that single stretch of housing directly connected to the fire station. Who would want to live right next to the fire station? Maybe the firefighters. But even then, work-life balance. It's not always this hard to see what the zones look like. It's something about this grass makes it harder. Looking good. I'm going to put the foot on the gas just so we can get this building up a little more quickly. We've limited the demand because we built so much already for the housing, so now we got to kind of pivot to some commercial zones. Again, I want to remind you about noise pollution, so be careful when you are doing zones, especially in your residential area. You don't want to put too much commercial or it'll be too loud. I like to have a little bit so the Sims don't have to travel across the city if they don't want to. So they have water lines connected, but our pumping capacity is just shy. So for now, with these water towers, you really got to be careful that you're not in the polluted zone or you'll make all of your Sims sick. This is a common problem. A lot of people online run into. They go on Reddit in the City Skylines subreddit and they scream and cry, "Why are my Sims all sick? I have so many hospitals." And it's because they are pumping polluted water to their Sims. Whether that be industry pollution, like here, which you can check on that by looking at your pollution here. Most of ours is limited now, especially since we put in that policy at the beginning of the stream. It's limited to directly within, a decent amount of squares of the industrial zone. So these are safe. We can also see the pollution on the water. As you can see, the poopy water that we're pumping out in the sewage, it's way down here, all going downstream, and look how far that goes. I mean, it goes so far we can't even see. So you obviously don't want your water pumping to be where your sewage outlet is. Even if they're close to each other, the pumping channels, you can see kind of that it slows down a lot the flow of the water. If you have too many close together, it will dry up the water, and if they're close to the sewage outlet, that poopy water will go in, be sucked into your water line. So you don't want them to be too close. Even though it sucks to have to run the power that far, I mean, you don't have to go this far. That's a little excessive, but just planning ahead, you don't have to worry about it later. And in fact, we may eventually move those pump lines, the intakes, way up here. The farthest upriver we can go, at least one or two. We can always put water towers anywhere that's not got ground pollution. And these large water towers that we'll unlock soon have even more capacity to pump than the water pumping station. So I've started just converting straight to those. Now we have to pump out more sewage. Now the eco water outlet puts out literally half, but it is less polluted. Once we unlock the eco water treatment plant, it's better. There's less pollution. But we can afford it, so I'm just going to put down 2 so we match our pumping capacity. That's just a matter of convenience for me to know that I'm not underfunding one, and they'll both need to be upgraded at the same time. It's just more convenient. Of course, if you are flat broke, then it's a lot less convenient. So just keep that in mind. The eco outlets do cost more. They're $4,000 versus $2,500. But you're helping the environment, so it's really your call as mayor. We've still got this academic work going, so we're just a little bit away, and we've got barely enough students, so hopefully that holds up, which it should. You know, the more our city grows and the more education people get, we should have more eligible students. Our capacity is just under those who are eligible, so that must be a result of the dorms. So I think that we can add more dorms and solve that problem. I don't know why they're both capping at 80 out of 300, but there you have it. As you expand any of the campus areas, you'll have a higher capacity. But if you're down and out and you haven't, like we haven't, unlocked the other campus areas, you can go in and place one of these asset universities. They have 4,000 capacity, 4,500 on the one, and you can always increase the budget for education, and that will also increase your capacity. So we'll take that up by 5 since we still have a healthy amount of revenue. So we're barely good with the high school space. We've got plenty of the elementary school. Actually, no, it's the opposite. I always read them backwards. The capacity is just a little under for the elementary schools, but we have 3 already. And we don't want to have too many educated sims because our industry will have a problem. Now, there is a policy we can do for, sorry, I'm trying to see what it's called. I guess it's in the city planning for Industry 4.0. It's industry that is for super educated citizens. So if you get to the point where your industry area has not enough undereducated, low educated workers, then that's your solution. One solution, I should say. It may not be the final end-all be-all solution. We're running out of power, so I'm just going to increase that budget because we did take it down at the top of the stream because we had so much. Now we have plenty again. And we've got a little ways to go to hit our big city milestone, so at which point we'll unlock the liberal arts college campus area and the crematorium and the water treatment plants, both of which will be very helpful as we move forward. That large water tower I was just talking about, and the Metro Plaza, which is a good central location. So I suggest that we, in our downtown area, expand some high-density residential zones. Those 2 squares alone will make a big difference, but we can even go in here and upgrade some more. Oh, that's actually wrong, but that gives me a reason to include that. Since that's all on the tramline road, there's no reason not to keep it in downtown. Now, our downtown doesn't really have any special policies in place other than smoke detector distribution, which helps on the fire hazard nature of the section. And since there are more people living there, there is a higher fire problem. Part of that you can solve by having more fire stations. You can upgrade the fire expense line in the budget, but we'll pay a little bit less. Instead of doing those things, we can pay some for that smoke detector, and that'll help prevent fires. Imagine that. Who knew? And we will upgrade these, and so our new residents can be directly connected to the park. That's nice. I'll even do there. That'll give us a good boost. We're still on a pretty steep incline in terms of population growth, despite our death rate having gone up some. And we've got plenty of zone space here. And again, the only reason that I have not zoned here, despite having roads, is because of the demand. We were losing that, so I wanted to make sure we weren't going too hard in one direction and not enough in others. I always like these 5-pointed intersections, especially in the small density locations. I just think they look cool from above, especially. Nice little touch of geometric change. It shifts your eye from the housing and the curves to a specific point, like an eyeball almost. But that's again just me. You don't have to do that if you don't like it. It's totally your call. It's your town. One thing that we're missing over here is there's no office zones, and you know we've only got a few office buildings in the whole city, so at some point we will change that. Now that our demand is ticking up ever so slowly, I want to change some of these houses that are now part of downtown into offices. If you don't want them to be tall, you can either do what I did here and make it a historic building, which prevents it from fully leveling up, or you can put in that height limitation, no skyscraper ban, in your policies for each district. Which, why don't we do that in the near the campus? It won't prevent anything that we've already built. It won't demolish anything because we haven't got any skyscrapers, but if we put in offices or commercial, they won't get super tall. They will get kind of tall. Unfortunately, you can't keep them at the mid-grade without making them historic, but you know, those are the trade-offs. I don't really like that one tall yellow building. Can't get that good light on your theater and the arc, but it's already built. We won't destroy it. Maybe we'll get lucky and there will be a disaster. I forgot we made this a historical building, but it's kind of pretty. And I like that variation, especially between this super modern office building. That's fully maxed, so it's fine. There, it's beautiful. We'll mark it historic so I don't accidentally destroy it. Maybe it's worth making all of this side the high-density residential since it's close to Twitchville and will be a lot less quieter. Really, we probably need more commercial zones over here anyway because it's such a hot spot for destination for tourists and even residents because of the school. So yes, let's do that. I'm making the executive decision. Put another office zone there, and then here we will make commercial zones. We'll keep this one there because it's got 7 out of 8 households with 28 Sims. And they're not complaining about the noise yet, so we'll let them keep it. Now we're slowly developing downtown even more, which is great. I really like these green buildings. Those pops of color are really cool. Nice change. I mean, you get some of that in these buildings. Now that we've got a new neighborhood, I'm just going to add a stop. It's going to make me change. I mean, it's not making me, but I'm going to need to move that stop so it makes more sense. It will be along the way. We'll just put the stop right on that 5-point intersection. That's a great place to put. That's another good part about having that 5 intersection because your Sims can easily walk there compared to other locations. Now I want to add a couple walking paths. Let me take off this angle. Sorry. I'll just try to go, if it'll let me. It's a little tricky, trying not to destroy any buildings. Threading the needle, and this might not work. It may be too small. Oh, look, it magically works. See, sometimes it magically connects, and other times it does not. So, I wish I knew why that was the case, but alas. sometimes you can solve some of those issues by the fact that it auto locks and connects your nodes for the pathways. If you put in the curve, you can get around that some. I wish you could take that off, and I'm sure that there's a mod you can do similar to the roads. But once again, I'm on console, which makes it has its limitations. I don't know why anybody would walk that way, but it does look kind of neat, so there's something. And our Sims are already taking part of that path. So it's nice. We've given them something they like. So we kind of got ourselves in a bind here because we can't really get a good pathway through any of these spots without destroying something, which is fine. I mean, sometimes you got to do it. But I think I want to put in a little road like that. The other option is to put in a park when you have too much space like that. And as you can see, our people would love some parks. For some reason, they've added parking lots and decks, and they serve as parks. Really taking it a little too literally. A lot of people online love those parking lots. I don't. So sorry if you really love them and you're like, why doesn't he put any parking lots? It's not going to happen. I might put the deck in, but that's it. We will put the birthday cake in there. 8 years. It's kind of neat. It's a cute little neighborhood park. I like it in these small density zones especially. Only downside is you can't connect to it. And that's my least favorite part about using parks in this game. You're really limited to the connections you can make. What we'll do there is put in some trees, shall we? Got no trees over here. So, blending it just a little bit. There, that's better already, isn't it? Ooh, there we go. I still want to put a pathway in, so it actually... Wow. That's crazy. Now we're going to destroy all these trees we just placed. That's okay. We can plant more. They are a renewable resource, and it is a stimulation. Look, somebody's already taking it. Oh, come on. You know you want to. I'd really love it if you just let me go. Cut through. That's okay. Small victory. Consolation prize is that we can make that high density. We don't have to apologize too much for that. Okay, I'm just gonna... Now we're gonna curve this. Look at that. And it'd be great if we could just sneak by there, so maybe I can finagle this curve. I really shouldn't feel too guilty about destroying these, but I do. That's okay. We still got a 3x3 square, which is preferable to cutting down those other small squares. It's not, I actually like the 3x3 more than the 3x4, like this one, because it gives us more room to get creative. Cool. Slowly but surely we're getting there, and it's 14,000. And we want 16. So these new towers are already working magic. So you gotta, it's worth it. Since we expanded after the fact, we'll turn these into high density. That will be good. And I just made that one a 3x4 long ways because it's different than these other 3x4s that we have. I mean, we have one right across the street here, and it's a nice little shape. It's kind of funky. Not quite smooth. I don't know if, I guess it's supposed to be more cylindrical. But we're looking too closely. You can't look that close. Just gotta imagine. Funny they look exactly the same here. Because they gave them lots, I guess. But look, it's already upgrading. That's great. Or it was constructing. Never mind. Take it back. My mistake. We have room for a pathway here. Not really. Can we make room for a pathway here? Maybe. If I do this first, it doesn't quite connect. So if I go even closer, there we go. There's a little bit of connection. That should be enough. Let's see if it works. Just enough for them to squeeze through the Sims, that is. Of course, it takes some time for them to recognize that it is a possible path, as with the roads. Nobody's come yet, but they may not. It may not be worth taking, and that may not be enough of a connection. It's hard to say, really. I don't understand the actual reasons that they do those things. The pathways, I mean, why they take some pathways over others. But look, we've got a nice downtown now. It's really grown, even today, into something even better than before. Boy, these guys really are upset that they don't have educated workers. Oh boy, we got 2 stars. Very good. Give yourself a pat on the back. It'll be like you're giving me one, and we'll both feel good at the same time. Thank you for being here. Couldn't have done it without you. We'll go ahead and start a hospitality grant because we haven't done that one in our academic works yet. And check it out. We've still got a ways to go on students, just under 150. Our attractiveness, we've got a lot of work to do. And we need 2 more academic works, so we've already got 1 in. We have new buildings. Outdoor study doesn't give too much. I think it also does like 25 points like the dorm. The gym is maybe 50, and I'm just trying to remember this from yesterday when I was looking. Cafeteria is 70, so I highly recommend having more than 1 cafeteria. As you expand, you'll need to get a lot of attractiveness quick, and that's a good option to have a second one of those, especially by the time you spread out over a whole campus. Having an extra dining option that they can walk to is nice for your students. The fountains have, I I think 50, while the statues have more value. See how big the gyms are. Okay. Cafeteria is much smaller, so we could probably fit the cafeteria in here. Or at least take out that curved part. That's probably the best option. Or put in the fountain and make it a harsher cut. We could put the fountain there. The fountain is bigger than the statue, so when you plan where you're going to put the statue in the future, which is our next phase, just know that it is smaller. I don't think it's that small, but we could take out that middle way and keep the curve that's there. See, that goes to that tree line. So, yeah, that'll fit. Again, another downside, you can't go up to the backside of these fountains and things, and I don't know if your Sims will automatically walk through or not, but you can't connect on the backside like with the parts. And I wish we could put down like nice trees or decorations that would upgrade the attractiveness, but that doesn't work. Which that kind of makes sense because I'm sure it's something to do with coding and that sort of stuff, but we managed to get it up to 320 now, up from 200, so we've got a lot more to go. The gymnasium and the outdoor study will help some. And I know I had talked about putting the outdoor study right in the center, but I don't think I will need to, whether it even fits, because it's huge. I mean, we could put it out there, but we still got a lot of space here. We could just adjust the pathway. And look, now there's no need to change the fire department and add a street like I had talked about. So that's nice. Downside is you cannot connect, even though it looks like sidewalk, you can't connect the backside of the outdoor study even to the campus nodes. So quirks of the game. Another quirk is the fact that that terrain is weird. I mean, it's not even that dramatic, but I don't like it, so I'm going to make it match. I'd rather it match the rest of campus than those other spots, the roads and things. I mean, I don't think it technically does anything in terms of noise, but, you know, when you're below the noise, it's probably a lot easier to make it less. And, okay, so we got to destroy these so it will recognize the flatland. Oh my goodness, come on. I mean, what is... You would think that the arrow controls where the peak is, but it just doesn't want to do it. I just want it to make an indentation and not rely. And I want to keep it crooked, but since it refuses, will this work? No! Of course not. Why would it? That doesn't even work. That's great. I love it. Thank you so much. We can't connect it to this? Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh, they're really killing me today. So we're just going to do a major change operation here. This is the joy of playing the game. On the bright side, we keep this green space. Why did it raise even that little bit? Finally. Still not ideal. This is not the look I really wanted. But can only do so much if the game refuses to cooperate. And look, we destroyed these buildings in the process. Definitely did not mean for that to happen. But what are you going to do? See, I wanted it to make that indentation before. If it looks kind of dumb, it's because it is kind of dumb. But that looks even dumber, so there you have it. We're wasting a lot of taxpayer money by destroying and replacing this. But they're just going to have to deal. What the heck? Alright, I know you just watched me try to do it without causing this destruction, but there's no option. They have literally given me no other choice. All because I just wanted a nice outdoor area so I can increase the attractiveness of the school. But whatever, man. It's fine. I hate that it doesn't connect. I hate it. And, you know, I'm not really a perfectionist by any means, but come on. Just help me out here. Speaking of perfection, I'd really like to not have those spots, but where the intersection occurs, but since it will not let me do anything otherwise, just gonna have to deal. That actually looks a little bit neater than it did before, so I'm not going to say that they did me a favor there, but at least it's not as atrocious of a slope. I'll even out that other stuff in a moment. I want to move this stuff back, and of course it's not going to want to fit in my roads either now. Great. Thank you. Love it, love it, love it, love it. That's not as bad. I mean, you can pretend if you squint your eyes real hard that those are steps instead of terrain difference. But we'll move it back and try to even that out. And it didn't really do anything. So it might just be the way it's going to be, and that's going to have to be okay. We'll put it there, we'll move this, and extend it straight out. And we'll just pretend that it's our heart's desire and not a big disappointment. Deal? We could keep groundskeeping there. And it looks like we're going to have to because it's not going to fit there. Oh, but it'll fit nicely in here. That's kind of nice of them. They finally gave me something to work with. Thank you. So there's that. We've expanded. We've put in all of our new buildings we have available. Now let's check out how it's looking. Attractiveness, we still are down 80 points, 70 points. So could be another cafeteria. Get the job done. I know we just have one and our campus isn't really that spread out. Can we fit it right in this little nook? Oh, really? You think? I think it'll work, but it'll look really stupid. It doesn't look that bad. Didn't work that well either because we don't have a road to connect it to because it won't let us connect through the outdoor study, which is really dumb. But it works. Look at that. Right on the money. 70 points, cafeteria. I think that doesn't look terrible. I'm going to pretend it's not a cafeteria. Or I'll pretend that this is not. We'll say that this is like a school of the arts or something. Because this kind of makes more sense as a cafeteria being connected to the outdoor study. Can we move this just a hair? Oh good, it ruined everything to move it that way. What is... I don't understand the logic here. Why it did that. I'm sure it is because I put that there. The cafeteria, I mean. So I'm sorry you have to see me do this a lot. It's more of a result of the game, but I am making these mistakes so you don't have to. And I'm not a perfectionist most days, but today, in this specific instance, I am a perfectionist. I'm just destroying those houses because I want this to work right. I'm going to destroy those buildings too. I'm going to destroy this whole town if I have to, if it means I get what I want out of this outdoor study and I'm still not getting it. This is the perks of being in a dictatorship, where I'm the dictator. Other people, they're not going to be as good of a dictator as I am, but I don't want to talk about this. You will do what I want. You will do what I want. You will continue doing what I want. Gotta play the Jedi mind trick now. Alright, we can work with that. It only cut out that little bit of that. So I don't really care about losing that. If these zones have to rebuild, they have to rebuild. We've got the demand for it. We are perfecting this image. I guess I gotta build a fire department again. And the police station. Cool. And see, and ideally we would be able to connect there and there. You would think it would work, knowing that the park assets can do that, some of them. But alas, we are beholden to whatever the person who made this did it. I mean, it's not really our call to make, I guess. can at least do this. It still doesn't work perfectly the way I want, but then what does? Boy, they were really rowdy, these students, huh? Well, it only looks a little funky, and we'll tolerate it. In the future, we'll probably make that just a straight line and take this intersection out so we can fit in, I don't know, maybe another fountain, or well, the fountain will fit. We just have to scoot over this house, and here's hoping that that works. And I'm not going to zoom in on that college anymore because it's so loud. You're welcome for that. Now we're just waiting on these hospitality things. So our school is looking as good as we can make it. Having that cafeteria did help hide some of those slope issues. We've done quite a bit of work here. We'll continue on our neighborhood now. Our new neighborhood, that is. Since we've got that pathway there, I'm just going to meet it in the middle. We'll put a little curve here. See, it just drives me crazy how these pathways, there's really no rhyme nor reason. That's so much space just wasted now. And I only did that so we can have a 4 full square. Full 4 square. 4 full square. I don't know what I said, but you know what I meant. Some high density zones. At least we get some good single spots. Tickling that itch. You know, I really don't want to bother planting any housing there because we're just going to change it up when we draw roads, and probably shouldn't have even bothered there. So let's continue our road making, shall we? Ideally, I probably should have connected there too, but it'll be fine. This is going to be a neighborhood anyway, so you don't really have to worry about whether the roads are all connecting neatly so much as we just want them to connect some places for traffic purposes, because we want to find the path of least resistance. Write it 100 times. It's going to be correct every time. And if you disagree with that, let me know in the comments. Just be gentle. It's pretty wavy, at least. You know, a wavy grid is a grid nonetheless, but at least it's got some shape to it, some variation. You know, it just really depends on what your goal is. I'm trying to combine the goal of, you know, looking creative, but also unique to my city. New Chirp City, we want to, you know, contribute to its image. One way you can stop all these stoplights from happening is making this a priority road, but it'll place stop signs automatically, I think. I don't know if it will automatically prevent the stop lights, that is, but might be worth trying. We've got plenty of space to put in a walking path there. Nice spot for high density zone. Boom, boom. Almost does what I want it to do. Come on. Oh, yeah, that's it. That's what I wanted. Now, will this one do what I want it to do? I don't think so. That's okay. We'll bite the bullet there. It's worth it. The payoff is there. It's good. Just want to make sure we got that little section in water. And we do. Now what we're going to do is just do this ahead of time. The pathway, I mean. I try to stop a little bit short so it magically connects, but we can still get that high density zone in there, so we're not really losing out on that extra bit of housing. We are starting to need more offices. Those zones are really getting high. Let's check our info page. We've got pretty low unemployment. Let's look at the stats line. It's starting to go down, but our available jobs compared to our population, they're not growing at the same rate, so that's one reason you see that happening. I'm going to now make another zone, and the reason, or another district, I mean, if you'll pardon my misspeaking. So we can put in that high-rise van. And we can add a couple office squares in here that'll just give us a little bit of an extra place, another destination. And as we connect that with the tram line, with the subway, one of those 2x squares will probably be a good subway stop. Our nearest one is way over here and there, so having another one here is probably a pretty darn good spot. And the rest of our office zones we'll put down here. But that may be a nice spot to actually build up again. See, we got this one little office space. Oh, excuse me, that's a high density residential tower. Sticks out like a sore thumb. We'll keep it there. I'm sure the neighbors hate it. I'm sure they're at City Hall complaining about it all the time. And also, how can you enjoy the pool if there's a skyscraper blocking the sun? Once we finish zoning, at least in the King Square district, we'll check in on our school again and make sure our other areas are going well. I'm sure they will be. We just want to be sure. It's always good to have some progress checks. And again, if I like to add these high density wherever I can, and you notice when you look at this neighborhood zone, with the exception, of course, of the big tower in the middle, the single spaces top out pretty evenly, even with the, I think the commercial areas here actually have more, so, or are taller, I mean, like one story taller. So they really do give you more dimension, but they don't stand out so much compared to that tall boy in the middle. Your offices do get taller too. That's why we put the skyscraper limitation. Let's see what level that is. That's level 2. I'm not sure what level 3 is. We'll see what it is. If it's too tall, perhaps there will be a referendum, and we will force these developers to downscale, but that will be a decision we'll save for next council meeting on my next stream. So be sure to follow if you haven't already, and if you have, thank you very, very much. And even if you haven't, thank you for being here. It's a lot more fun to try to help you while I play. I hope you are learning something from it that you can add to your own gameplay. And if you are working on your own city, feel free to share it with me. You can share it, and I'll love to give you feedback if you want it, or just give you the good energy and encouragement. If you have any questions about anything, leave a comment, or something you'd like to see me try to design, and leave a comment, and I will try it. I would be happy to, just for you, not for anybody else. They don't need it. They're not as nice as you are. So thanks again. I'm glad you're here. You can find all of my videos of the streams that I've done on my Twitch or on my YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube later, be sure to subscribe there. Or if you want to subscribe in both places, that'd be good. You'd find out when I post a new batch of streams, and you'll be in the loop. And I hope you do like this video, and if you do, you'll take the second to hit that like button. That'll help me out a good bit. Also, it'll make me feel good, and don't you want to make me feel good? I'm working so hard for you, please. No, I'm not that desperate. But I am hoping you're learning something. I'm hoping you're having a fun time watching the growth and development of New Chirp City. It's a good reason for me to be playing and feel like I'm doing something good for the world. I do have to leave soon because I have a production meeting for my summer work, which you can learn more about my work on my website at ronlyconly.com. That's ronlyconly.com. You can read articles I've written, as well as learn about my work as a theater artist and my work developing an app for the arts, an animated short film, and working at a small professional theater in the mountains of North Carolina, which, if you're in that area, please do come and see us. But you can find that all on my website. You can also find me on Instagram at ronlyconly. That's R-only-C-only again. But you got it. I know you do. You're never gonna forget it. Office demand is still pretty high. That's nice. I'm sorry, I'm just thinking about whether I want to extend that walking path. Can I extend this walking path? And where to extend it to? Yeah, that won't be bad at all. Put an office zone there. Probably another one on that corner. We'll go ahead and ease over into downtown. Just a little bit of downtown expansion. You know, the demand is there. The developers are going to develop. Since there is such high industrial demand, we will put more office zones down here because office zones are part of that industry bar. And also they do better with high educated Sims, which is one reason why you don't unlock it for some time. Now, I did not put this in a district zone, so it won't be a specific type of office. It also will be a skyscraper. So we're developing more of a major business district here. I'm tempted to make it a IT section, which gives you really tall, pretty buildings. If you watched my Green City scenario last week, which I have to restart now because I'm a genius who did not manually save and erase the autosave, you can see how tall those get. We'll save that for another part of town. In fact, I think next time we will add an exit off the highway right there, demolish those offices in the middle there, and give a new point of entry to the city so we don't have traffic running across town trying to get to this their office zones. We'll have to run a new bus line down there. And hey, we made it! Finally, a big city. Give yourself a pat on the back. We've come a long way from 0 to 16,000. New Chirp City, officially on the map. We get all these goodies. Crematorium, which is something we really need. The large water tower will come in handy. Some of these other train stations, the Metro Plaza. A bigger police helicopter depot. I didn't know about that. That's new for me. And some other water treatment options. Be very helpful down the road. And we can add a liberal arts college campus, which we are almost definitely going to need soon as New Chirp Community College continues to grow. We'll start another research grant, and in our narrative, in our heads, we'll do IT so we can create an IT office zone, which will probably be in this new area over here where we have extended the avenue, but we have not built anything yet. So be sure to follow and or subscribe if you're on YouTube so you will know when I go live next week, probably Tuesday, if all goes according to plan. But you'll be able to know when I'm going live for other games as well. And you will not miss out on the development of New Chirp City. Now I am finishing this out so we can take a picture of the map today and compare. You can find all the previous images of New Chirp City on my Instagram page at RonlyConly. That's R-only-C-only. You know it by now. In general, you want to not max out your demand levels, but we are going to need housing. It's just a fact as we grow New Chirp City further. Why don't we build a skate park over here? That'll be a nice place to, add to the leisure. It's small, like the Japanese gardens too. Dog parks, same thing. Easy placement. Really, the skate park's not close enough to this. That seems a little ridiculous to me, but what do I know? I'm actually gonna run. I probably will rather change the district to be divided along that line there, but I just really don't want skyscrapers, so that's why I'm just making sure all these office buildings stay short, so we keep the high density tall stuff in one central spot. And I don't normally really care about that, but I'm not at the point where I really want this whole city to be tall buildings. That's an aesthetic choice. You don't have to make it in your city, because after all, you're in charge. It's your town. I think we've probably got enough electricity connection. Yes, we do. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful work. I wasn't going to connect that originally, but I changed my mind. Yep, that's it. No better explanation. Take out these stoplights just because I don't want them. Now let's go back over here because I definitely got this all out of whack. One thing about New Chirp City, and I'm sure it's because of the way that I drew these roads all willy-nilly, but I really do like the way that the high density has blended in so well with the low density residential. It really does feel balanced, more so than even in my own city. So, it's a iterative process where every time you do a new city, you find that you either do things better or you know a little bit more. So I'm going to keep that down and then do that so I can put a pathway. Love pathways in this house. And by a house, I mean New Chirp City as a town. Okay, there we go. All right. Just gonna leave that space too. We don't need parking lots or backyards in our high res locations. It's a little excessive. Rather, I would favor the walking paths. Not to say I don't want those ever, but on the whole, I'm not trying to keep them everywhere. You know what I'm saying? James Cooper is right. It is a great city. New Chirp City, it's our place. We made it. It's our town. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So again, next time we are going to create a bus route that comes into this new neighborhood, the King Square neighborhood. And we'll run a new subway station, at least somewhere in the middle, probably around the word King Square. We'll also expand the community college more. Now it's a 3-star, which is renowned. So let's see what we got out of that. And I'm just going to, again, do another research grant so we have it in the works next time. We don't have to think about it. Well, we've unlocked the trade school, library, IT club, commencement office, and the statue again. So we'll have that work cut out for us. Probably place a couple more parks, some unique buildings. We really have not placed many of those. We've got a lot of room here. You know, we've got a lot of empty space in this one where I put some roads, but we may not keep it that way. Who's to say? But we've come a long way since day one, and if you, again, want to check out our progress, our updates of the map, you can find me on Instagram at RonelyConley. That's R-only-C-only. And you can find out more about me on my website, RonelyConley.com. Be sure to follow if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're on YouTube. Like this video. That'll all help you as much as it helps me. And, you know, last thing, just enjoy the rest of your day. However much time that may be for you. Be sure to do something fun for yourself. Stay hydrated. And keep on the sunny side, as they say. Alright, well, until next time, this has been Justin, RonelyConley, R-only-C-only, got it? We'll see you next time.